Hey guys, well I'm making progress on the Yard King here, as you can see, and I apologize in advance for the wind. It's been kind of bad today, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me, but I spent the past couple hours working on it, and I'm surprised how far I actually got. But this tractor is actually, it was really easy to take apart, because everything, unlike the 210 and a lot of the older heavy duty ones, like the side panels and the motor and all that, and the fenders and all that stuff are bolted together and like a couple big pieces, so I just had to take the big pieces off, and now I got it down to the frame. I mean, this is kind of how I had the 210 for a while, just a rolling chassis with the motor and the deck on it. The back tires are both bad. They both need a tube. This one holds there, but the other one doesn't. And I tried blowing them up, and they won't hold air, so I got to get new tubes for them. Here's just a good look at it. The fenders, I mean, I'm keeping all the stuff in here right now because the LA 150 is not here right now. We still have to go pick it up. I think we'll wait till after New Year's to do that, because right now I don't have the room. I'm hoping to get this back together before long. And I basically have everything here. The fenders are pretty simple. They're very narrow. There's a fender, and then if you look, it's bolted. I don't know if you can see that. It's bolted to the main chassis there, the quote-unquote frame, and the dash is riveted or tack welded onto it too. I see them on this side. This side was tough because the shift lever was in the way, and then there's a little shifter fork there, and when it was on the frame, it hooked up. And it had to, move back and forth, and there was a shifter plate in the middle, and it was such a pain. I had to reach under there and undo the entire assembly. And other than that, it was easy though. And then here's the seat, just flips up. And the only other thing that kept me from taking it off was that support bar there. It was bolted in. That's where the battery ground is bolted in. There's the solenoid there. I didn't feel like taking it off. I didn't need to. Here's your seat switch. The seat's in good shape. I could actually mount that to the 210, but I'm not going to. Here's the hood. With the side panels, it actually came off really easily. I mean, but look at this. Look at the side panels, though. Look how flimsy they are. I mean, they're just. It's hard to hold this up, but they're held on there with just those tiny little bolts. I actually could screw them in and out, and you can see there's the hinge right there. It's a little strap. I didn't completely take it off. I didn't need to. You can see there's the headlight, and then the support for both hinges, and it just fits on like that. Pretty simple. And then it bolts to the fenders in the back there. There's a hole there and a hole on the other side, but it's basically that simple. The headlights do work. I don't know if I showed it in another video, but they do work. Someone commented that the headlights only work when the engine's running, and they were right. They do. They both shine pretty bright too. I mean, I can't show you now, but yeah, they do work. I don't like that design though, like how they only work if the engine's running. It should be working as long as the keys turn on. But whatever. You can see this is kind of. I can't do this in the garage because I have the 210 in there, and there's taking up too much room. Won't focus. And pretty soon I might have this 111. I might have this 111 project. I think I might actually just keep that behind the shed with a tarp on it, because I'm gonna need the room to do that, but not yet. So here's all the stuff. I'm just keeping it in here. Here's the power takeoff lever, the clutch manual lever, steering wheel, cheap little one, and then they have instead of using a big like 15/16 nut like the John Deere's do, they have a bolt with a nut through it that just sticks onto the shaft and it tightens. Here's the shifter. This is where it pivots right here. I had so much trouble getting that off because I had a big nylon nut and everything on it. And then there was the fork and this bezel right here, which is the gear selector. I mean, reverse, neutral, first, second, third, fourth, all the way up to sixth. That was hard to get off, and it actually bolts. It's got those two slots there. It bolts. It's hard to show here, but it bolts to the frame like that, kinda, and that's just a mess. and it moves back and forth too, like there's play in it, so it's hard to tell if you actually selected a gear or not. But and then there's just some other stuff, like there's the gas tank, which needs to be cleaned badly, as you can tell, and the battery, which I just decided to take out. It's not in bad shape, but I might just have to replace it. If I'm selling it, I'll probably just end up replacing it. There's the slow charger. I've been using that to start it, but now I can't start it, so it had its last start today for hopefully a couple weeks. I mean, last year with the 210, I ended up, the last start was kind of like unexpected, and then it sat for over a year until I started it up again, so, but this one shouldn't take too much longer. Once I get it back together, I'm going to seafoam it, but, anyway, so let's look at the chassis here. I mean, here's the wiring harness. It's still intact. There's the connector for the seat switch. There's the grounds and the starter relay because from the solenoid. That's the PTO clutch in the ground. These use a green ground. John Deere's use black, which is actually, for John Deere, that's kind of weird because most things that are ground are green wires, but oh well. You can see all the grease and oil that's all under here. I'm going to pressure wash this. This is what you should do whenever you get a new tractor that's been used. I mean, sorry for the wind. Hold on a second. Just have a good look at it. Here's the shifter, the shifting shaft, whatever you want to call it. It basically acts like a tensioner. This is where the shifter hooks up, and it moves in and out and acts like a tensioner. And you can see there's the big pulley there with the drive belt. And the drive belt doesn't. I have to look more on it, but it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it's obviously a belt drive. This is the weird little hitch pin with a nylon nut on the end that was on it when I got it. That's kind of weird, but it's a little Peerless transaxle, and it's a shift on the go too. For some reason I can't get it to move though. When it was running, the parking brake was off, so it wouldn't move. It was doing it before. I mean, you guys even saw it in the one video, but then it wasn't doing it, so I don't know what happened. But I think it might be the key or something, or maybe it was just a simple safety switch. I don't know. We'll find out. But if it's the key, it's like 5 cents to get a new one. Just slide it right onto the axle. It solves the problem. So I hate this clutch, especially since the seat's not adjustable. It doesn't have any adjustments on it, so you're sitting all the way back, and you got to reach forward and push in the clutch, and just that it stays locked right there. But then that's all the way pushed in. Here's your parking brake shaft right here, which is a pain, a royal pain. You can see the play it has in it, and this is supposed to stick out like this. But you get the idea. Let's just pull that up and see if I can figure this out now. I don't know. I'll mess with that later. It's got these little footrests. It's a rubber padded footrest. It's not sandpaper like John Deere uses. That's the glue's coming up. I think it's because I spilled gasoline on it because the tank was leaking and the gasoline ate away at the glue. Oh well. It's got the rack and pinion steering, as you can see with this little. It's got one little tie rod here with the spindle, and it's welded. It's welded to the spindle, and it's a steel pressed steel front axle. Actually, as you can see, the whole frame is pressed steel, which is kind of cheap if you ask me. But I mean, it's an entry level lawn tractor, so it's nothing special. The mower deck, I tried taking that off. I'm actually not ready to take that off yet. I will, but I gotta save room first. All you have to do is just pull out this cotter pin and the washer, and then pull out the cotter pin and washer on the other side, and slip the drive belt off with the clutch there, and it slides right out. It's pretty easy. Oh, let's wait for the wind. Here's your governor right here. It's like it works like a rocker almost back and forth. So there's choke, and then that's why idle. It's tricky. I don't like how they do that on a lot of these now. Even some of the bigger ones, they do that now with the choke. So you're always starting it at full throttle, which is stupid. But here's the carburetor. It's a little single barrel carburetor. It's weird how this is laid out because it goes into the block right there. The valve. It's not an overhead valve, but the valves are right there. There's a little pancake muffler. I think I might actually put the muffler from the 210 on it. That one there's a little big, but it's I think it's a 1-inch shaft. It should be a 1-inch shaft, so it should be able to fit. I'll just bolt that little guard to it. Air filter, you know, flywheel, blah blah blah, same stuff. Never know. From the looks of it, it looks like mice could have lived up in there. So I'll take the spark plug off and replace it, and I'm gonna take this shroud off too and clean all the crap under it too. This is where the hood basically mounts to. It was a whole piece of plastic here, like a whole strip, but it broke. It was just brittle from sitting there, and you can see like the rough edge there too. So I gotta figure out how to replace that. But it uses these clips, which are really weird. But yeah, this thing. The next thing I'm gonna do is pressure wash this because it needs it. And yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. Hold on a second. Mower Deck doesn't have a lot of travel. Here, maybe this will block the wind. But yeah, I'm going to pressure wash it now. Like I said earlier, that's what you should always do with a dirty, dirty piece of equipment. And yeah, we'll see what we can do from there. Then I'll seafoam it, see what needs repaired, and see if anything needs welding. I hope not. My uncle can just do that for me, but we'll see. I'll get the tire tubes, and then I can start driving it and figure out why it won't drive. And I'll keep airing the tires and everything. So this is basically where we're at right now. The next video will be me, you know, like servicing. I'll have the pressure washing in it and the seafoam. Once I get it all back together, I'm going to seafoam it and clean it out and adjust the carburetor. I'll probably end up rebuilding the carburetor. I still have to run it more just to get all the kinks out of it because it's been sitting for 7 years. But yeah, there you guys go. There's the Yard King, and now we're making progress. I'm hoping to get this thing cleaned up and serviced like it should, and we'll flip it, and it'll go off to a new home for someone who needs a mower just in time for mowing season. So I'll just test drive it and make sure everything works first. I mean, it's a good way to make money doing this. And now I might have this 111 coming too. I'm not completely sure, but I'll see what the guy says, or see what my uncle says actually. And but yeah, back to the Yard King. Yep, that's it. And take care, guys. I'll keep you updated. The next video I'll have me servicing everything, but that's where she stands right now.